And here we go again with everyone's favourite podcast, How Not to Be an Arsehole. Fucking, we're back. I'm in the office today. I'm not recording in my bedroom. Shit everywhere.
Episode 24.
Fucking porcelain animals, beer cans, books, manuscripts. Look, I got someone's poetry manuscript here.
You should have.
That's the kind of person I am.
You should have a garage sale.
People's fucking manuscripts.
Fuck it, why not?
Do you remember the demos people used to send us when we were in Break and Wreck?
Oh man,
That was a laugh a minute.
I remember Can you remember a real excellent one? I remember there was one that Jared would play all the time.
There was one about that guy with he was always talking about shooting people.
Yeah.
And I will shoot you if you come to my house. It was good. It's good that people have artistic expression.
You know, I'm both sad and really happy that people don't send me their music anymore.
No, people send me their poetry now. But I would say that the fucking hit to miss ratio is way higher with the poetry I get sent than with the rap music.
It's better.
Way better.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, obviously get sent heaps of crap.
Yeah.
But, I've definitely been sent some good stuff.
The good thing about living with Louis is he gets sent music still.
Oh, so you sort of get to live it vicariously.
But there's a filter, right? So he'll only show me if it's real funny.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, perfect there. We got a Patreon. Yes. It's nearly hit 100.
Yeah, get on there.
Yeah.
If you want to support us in financial ways.
How Not to Be an Arsehole is available on all platforms.
Every single one. Oh, look, Dan's just had enough. He looks so bored.
Yep.
Poor Dan. If I was there, Dan, I'd give you a hug.
I wish you were here.
Yeah, maybe that's what the OnlyFans can be, just me hugging you. People would pay for that.
There's a niche for everything. Depressed podcasters hugging. Could be a new
Middle-aged
niche.
men hugging each other softly.
Speaking of being over this, I watched the final maybe half an hour of the leaders debate today.
Was it everything you'd hoped?
Oh my God, it was like the most uninspiring shit. Like, just abysmal.
Yeah, I heard they didn't say anything about Māori,
No, it was very...
at all.
No, it was very pasty.
True.
And Ardern, who's a pretty good public speaker, she seemed off as well. So
She's probably tired. She's had a fuck of a year. Not to, defend her too much.
Yeah. Speaking of politics, new poll came out today. Did you see it?
Yeah, it was in the Greens and Labour have enough to form a government. Yeah,
Greens have moved up 1% to 6%. Labour's dropped down to 48%. I think National's on 31%. ACT has jumped up to 7%.
Yeah, that's weird, man. What the fuck is going on?
National voters going to ACT.
Oh, they just need a fucking hiding.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah, I figured, that's weird.
I said that in a conversation with a group of people. We were talking about funding. And I was just like, they just need a hiding. And then I realised the company doesn't. I was like, oh, no, that's not right. Yeah, fuck them.
That's not how we speak here.
Yeah.
Also, another political news this week. National did their big policy announce and had a $4 billion hole in their budget.
I saw that.
But then it came out today that they had another $4 billion hole, and this is the party that primarily campaigns on we're going to fix the economy. We know how to manage an economy. And
$8 billion's quite a big hole.
See, it sounds like a lot of money to me.
Well, especially with the fucking GDP of this country. I don't know what the GDP is, but I imagine it can't be that much.
Nah, as soon as you say GDP, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, should we get this fucking show on the road then?
Yeah,
Any other announcements?
I'm just looking through my notes. No, I think that's it. I think we pretty much covered
we've got the Atawhai Whānau event coming up actually next weekend. We might have some spaces if people want to come along, see the rangatahi perform, do some yoga. It's free. So you just hit me up on social media if you would be interested in that.
Yeah. You got anything to promote, Dan?
Not off the top of my head, no.
What about
What about like beats for sale?
Oh, they're sold out.
Fuck.
have you organised it?
Cupcakes.
It's a fucking seller's market.
Have you organised an endorsement with the dairy from across the road?
I'm trying to get on that.
Okay. Maybe
All right.
maybe next week.
Bring the fucking music in, Dan. I gotta walk my dog. Welcome back. A little bit older, a little bit uglier.
We couldn't get another producer, so Dan's back as well.
Look at this, Dan.
We can divulge all this now.
This is what Todd's been itching to get into.
I don't necessarily like him, but I respect it.
Well, everyone needs jewelry.
He's a maniac.
Further to him crippled.
This is an audio podcast, Dom.
Sure. What do you think, Dan?
This week's guest is our dear friend. He's had a fuck of a year. He's
Doesn't know how to use Zoom.
he's an accomplished musician.
Not accomplished user of Zoom, though.
No, but fucking a tech idiot. And
He's good at other things.
yeah. JJ Peters, Joseph John Peters.
Thank you for having me. And let me just say, firstly, Dom, when you're heaps good at heaps of other shit, it doesn't fucking matter if you're good at Zoom, all right? Being good at Zoom is not a talent.
Well,
Not true.
you're gonna perish in our new future if you can't use fucking Zoom. I tell you that.
Yeah, mate.
My dick sideways, 7 days from some way.
What's happening?
What's happening today? I've had a very fruitful and stressful day. I've released a new song and video. And
Is it a rap song or a screaming song?
It's a rap song. It's I did some like slow raps, and then I changed it up in the middle, and I did some like slightly faster raps, and then in the middle of that fast bit, I kind of like switched it up and did it even slightly faster again, and then guess what? Right for the end bit, I went back to the slow raps. So
Can you spit us some slow bit raps right now?
Wait. Is the
What
song
kind of beat
called?
do you want?
Is the song called "Sometimes I Rap Fast, Sometimes I Rap Slow"?
you've heard it. So why are you pretending like you haven't heard it if you clearly know the lyrics? Sometimes I rap. If Dom could just beatbox for once in his fucking life, we could just have a real song happening right now.
You're much better at the rap songs than I ever was at the screaming songs. Hey, my screaming.
Yeah,
career
you only
never
ever
took
did
off,
like
really.
one screaming song. I've had a crack at like 4,000 rap songs, so the odds aren't very fair.
People said I sounded too Mexican.
That was just me. I was the person that said that.
Yeah.
I didn't use the word too because that would imply that sounding Mexican is bad. I said you sounded Mexican and it sounded cool.
Yeah, thanks, man. I feel like you're just being nice, but
Because you said stuff like, there was a line where you were like,
yeah, I did.
profile me and a profile you. You'd be like, profile me and a profile. It was like, the inflections just sounded very like, you sounded like, yeah, like an angry Mexican.
I had no idea. I was kind of like you trying to use Zoom, I imagine.
Slightly more apt than me trying to use Zoom, but yeah.
When I used to scream in a band, it used to make my eyes hurt.
No one was asking about what you used to do, Dom.
Fucking telling you, mate. You don't need to ask. You're gonna hear all about it.
What do you mean it made your
My
eyes?
fucking eyes hurt when I do it live.
Really?
That means you must have been doing it very wrong. If it was making your eyeballs pop out of your head. Like if there was
I was like, I don't know if this is good for me anymore. No one seemed to be enjoying it anyway. So
Did you not watch the DVD series The Art of Screaming?
I did watch it, but I didn't like it very much.
Yeah, it sounds
it sounded to
terrible.
be pretentious and it didn't really help me.
Yeah, it sounds fucking awful, really.
You've got a strong voice, though, JJ. You don't have like the vocal problems me and Todd have or had.
I have a strong talking voice. I don't really have a strong screaming voice. My screaming voice isn't my strongest
You don't lose your voice though very often.
Yeah, but I actually do warm up. Embarrassingly enough, I do some of that fucking Xander screaming shit before I go on stage. After like many years of not doing it and losing my voice, now I'd like do the mo me ma mo me mu ma me and like fucking do all that embarrassing shit in order to not lose my voice. Probably just because I'm getting older and I just can't do it anymore. But yeah,
Well, I just did a play and there was a lot of voice warming up there, but everyone was doing it and warming up and crawling around on the ground and going like that. So
I found
you've got to project your voice real far, but you're not screaming. You got to sound like you're talking, but you've got.
But there's no mic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for real. That's what I'm saying. Like you've got to you can't be screaming at the crowd, but you still have to be projecting the volume like out of talking, like sounding like you're talking, but you are actually yelling. Is that the general gist?
It's not quite that extreme. Well, because you got to have dynamics, so you got to be able to, in the loud bits, you got to be able to, step it up.
You're a pretty dynamic guy.
Thank you.
Speaking of Dom being dynamic, Dom, I know you're upset that there wasn't many reviews of your book. So today I scoured the internet and I found a review of your play. Do you want to hear it?
I want to hear it.
Okay, it's from some guy. I forget his name.
Do we like this guy? Let me give me some kind of.
He's a stranger. So,
Okay.
James writes. I wanted to feel cultured, adult, or even elite. For so long, I dreamt of an evening at the theatre, bow-tied, bespectacled, my date.
Where did you find this?
It's on like some fucking weird review site.
Right.
It's pretty short. I wanted to feel cultured, adult, or even elite. For so long, I dreamt of an evening at the theatre, bow-tied, bespectacled, my date in a cocktail dress, champagne in the foyer. What I got instead was this. And then he's posted a photo of you and what appears like you have a lampshade on your head. And then he just wrote, P.S. Where was Dan?
Fuck yeah.
I think that's a great review.
Another satisfied
I
customer.
I did have a lampshade on my head.
Yeah, I know. I saw a photo. I couldn't tell if it was a lampshade.
No, it's definitely a lampshade.
Oh man, I thought the lead up to that was that we were gonna hate this guy, but now I really want to meet this person.
Oh, there's plenty of bad reviews of my shit online if you want to hate some people.
I want to find some people.
He sounds all right.
No. Well, there were lots of nice people there. There was a few people asking about Dan, actually.
Yeah.
Someone said to me, I can't remember who it was because I was fucking drunk, but they said, Dan should be in the play. There you go, Dan.
They make.
I don't know what they think you should do, but the people have spoken.
Would you be interested in being in the play, Dan?
Not in the slightest.
Did you do any theatre in school or anything of that nature?
Are you asking me that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
He's too busy sniffing glue.
More of a behind the scenes guy.
More of a glue.
More sniffing the glue in the fucking toilets guy.
Hey, so
I got your number, Dan.
JJ and I getting the old band back together, are we? Is it?
Yeah. That's the plan.
If we get permission.
If we get permission from the state, then we will.
What band's that? Hand jobs and drinking.
Nah.
Drinking, that was another side project. That one was. We said no to.
I'm just gonna go support JJ now that I'm retired.
Yeah, see, because there's a possible. I don't even know if I'm supposed. I mean, who cares? I'm gonna just say.
No one listens to this podcast anyway.
John Floriani is a very talented artist and a friend of mine. And
what's his name?
John Floriani.
Yeah.
And he is
the guy from the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
I beg your pardon?
Yeah. Is it the guy from the Red Hot Chili Peppers?
That's John Frusciante, the guitarist, and it's absolutely not the same person at all. But good try though. He's possibly doing a run of shows in this bizarre time where, you're in a 500 cap room, but there'd be like fucking 10 payers or some shit. But in order to make it work, do a bunch of regionals and just have everyone sitting down and whatever. And I asked if I could possibly open for the shows, and I thought, well, what would make it fun is if Todd came along and we just made it just like us sitting on stage and just having a chat and doing a couple of rap songs, because that's kind of like my favorite things to do anyway. And if I could possibly lose some money in the process, well, then that's just a bonus.
Cool. That sounds great.
Hey, if you want to lose money,
hand jobs and drinking back in action.
That was never a thing.
If you want to lose money, I'm your guy.
Fuck, me and Todd have been losing money since the day we met.
Yeah, it's a great way to get together. It's a great way to get to know each other.
And prior to that as well, surprisingly.
I think we lost more money though once we joined forces.
Yeah, well, it's like
That's an interesting dichotomy. Let's get together and
lose twice the amount of money.
Really put our heads together, we can really fuck this up.
I'm no mathematician, but if you multiply a minus by a minus, don't you get a bigger minus?
I'm pretty sure it turns into something. But I don't know.
Dan, you're the one with glasses. What do you think?
I'm trying to write that down for a title.
Oh, yes. You'll be impressed, JJ. I've started buying jewels lately.
I am actually impressed by that. Are they
I don't
like-
have any of them. I don't have any of them with me though. But yeah, I've got some
But
jewels.
why do I get the impression that you're like, I don't know, one of those birds that just collects shiny things off the ground and like and treats them as treasures?
I saw an advertisement for jewels the other day, which really fucking, because you know how if you get an advertisement, someone's like algorithm that into your feed.
Yeah, and it was something really offensive, and you're like,
Yeah.
why are you doing this?
Yeah, wait till you hear this. So it was the jewelry brand was called Rastaclat.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
I'm listening.
yeah. And it was like some wooden fucking beaded bracelet with like a lion's head on it and shit. I was just like,
So
how?
they had your number pegged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They must have just
Yeah.
seen all the photos of that thing on the back of your head and gone, yep, this dude needs this.
Yeah.
Dude needs this accessory.
Yeah, Zuckerberg's got all my data. He knows.
That's what he's doing with it.
It's because it must be because I keep listening to that Snoop Lion album or something.
Oh, well, have you actually listened to that once ever?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so.
Well, why fucking would you?
I mean, I would out of curiosity. I think I might have started watching the documentary for like 5 seconds and then, yeah, no, this isn't happening. But
It's
You guys
kind
want to know a really good fucking podcast? I think I might have sent this to you last night when I was Stone Todd, but it's the Prince Paul one.
Oh, yeah.
What's his name? Open My Eagle interviewing Prince Paul.
Mm.
Really good. Best podcast I've heard in years.
Really? It's talking about gravediggers and stuff?
And De La Soul and
Mm.
all the other shit. De La Soul stuff's the most interesting, I reckon.
this
I thought-
might be the first podcast I've ever listened to.
Really?
This one.
Yeah, even though
good.
I'm not listening to it, I'm just
You don't listen to podcasts.
I don't listen to podcasts. I listen to music. That's about it. And I barely listen to that because I fucking don't like anything anymore.
Yeah, but no, that's when you start listening to podcasts. I used to listen to music all day, every day. Now I listen to podcasts.
Yeah, but
Just people talking in your ears.
Yeah, but fuck, people talk all around me all the time. I don't want to like bring it into my space when I don't have to.
You could learn some stuff. You could learn how to use Zoom. I bet there's a podcast about using Zoom.
Oh,
Well, see,
Hell
look,
yeah.
it's accomplished. I did my first podcast and I learned how to use Zoom. Done. Tick that box.
Yeah,
move
imagine
on.
if you're listening to them all day. Actually,
You
a lot
know-
of people just end up being like fucking alt-right Nazis from listening to podcasts, but you know.
yeah. Do you know what's
you imagine
sad? You know what's sad about the Zoom podcast?
What's that?
It probably exists. B, it might be a better listen than our podcast.
We'll definitely be doing better in the charts. Do you know there's a fucking podcast about knitting that's beating us in the fucking New Zealand podcast charts?
Is there chart positioning for this shit?
Yeah, hey,
Yeah.
I found out yesterday we peaked at 28. So,
That's
What, in New Zealand?
yeah.
Fuck, that's
I
a
just-
sad indictment of the fucking podcast in New Zealand.
Man, Pete,
And we've been dipping.
oh, I guess we fluctuate, but Chef Pete Evans beats us in the New Zealand podcast charts, the maniacal fucking Australian.
But now we've got a fucking full,
Conspiracy
you know,
chef.
now we've got a fucking Australian celebrity on the podcast.
Oh yeah, you're gonna go up like a quarter of a point in the chart. No, but
Have-
I just want to say, as someone that's been part of this since day one, that I'm pretty proud of the fact that we got to 28.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, me too.
Yeah, thanks.
I thought I was quite proud of
We did-
178, so
we did-
28 is blowing my fucking mind right now.
Do you reckon
told
you've got? Do you reckon you got more podcast draw than Joel Birch?
For me,
Yeah.
no, absolutely not.
Oh fuck! What are we doing then?
Well, have you,
Joel's got like a slew of all sorts of Joel's way more tapped in. I've just got like a couple of like, I don't know, I guess just a couple of people like me.
Yeah. Who do? Okay.
Never
Second
grew out of it.
Joel Birch question then. Who's more likely to get assassinated at a show in America out of you and Joel Birch?
Based on the fact that I'm way more fucking like I can be touched easily. Like if someone wants to kill me, they can just fucking like come on stage and kill me. Based on that, probably me. But he's definitely way more inflammatory and like talks a lot more shit. And like even though he's like super anti-Trump, he has like mad Trump supporters that love Amity and then get real mad when he's anti-Trump, which is a very, really confusing thing to me.
Very,
But,
very weird.
I don't know.
is it because String's really into Trump?
Yeah.
I think String has one political standpoint, and it's just like fuck cops, and that's it.
Well, that's quite a solid one to start from.
Yeah,
That
I'm
is
not
good.
saying it's a bad one, but I'm saying I don't think there's much behind it. It's just like fuck.
See,
cops.
Dan doesn't have that standpoint at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah, pro
And you
cops.
We
He
found out.
donates his third of the podcast money to the police.
Damn, where's my third of the podcast money going?
Well, you got to join the police force.
It's only
Um,
fucking $25 every quarter, is anyway. So
Fuck, I could do so much with that. I could take that to the pokies, turn it into like nothing.
what's happening here? You've been signed out because your account is signed in from another device. I don't
And me,
Don't.
No, something
Dom.
just came up on my thing. Does that mean that they're going to sign me out of this?
No, you should be fine. Well,
if I get
you
signed out
appear
of
to be.
Zoom on my first Zoom meeting, I'm going to be so pissed.
We'll see what happens, I guess. So what else?
I don't know. Ask me questions, dickheads. This is your show.
Oh
Have
yeah.
you been playing the drums lately?
No, I have not been playing. the
What's this, JJ?
What's that?
What is this?
Is that a drumstick? Why
It's
do
a
you
drumstick. There you go.
What is it? Mine? Is it one of mine?
Yeah,
think-
it says JJ Peters on it, and someone's crossed it out and write sucks underneath.
I
It wasn't
think
me though.
I think you'll find it's called hitting the tubs.
Oh yeah, slapping the tubs is another accepted term.
Yeah.
Where are you living now?
Where am I living?
Yeah.
I'm currently living in Adelaide because I planned to move to Melbourne and I was supposed to get a spot there, and then COVID ravaged it, and now I'm just like biding my time, waiting for my time to strike and come back and just like live in old Willie's pocket and just like watch fights with him all day.
I've turned JJ into a MMA fan, Dom,
Sweet. You did the same thing to me.
through gambling though.
The
For
difference
gambling.
Yeah. He doesn't really like the violence, but he likes gambling. So
Why don't
Yeah.
you donate your gambling money to the charity that I work for, JJ?
well, because I need to live and I'm poor at the moment, and also
But are you have you got muscles? Have you been working out?
I wasn't trying to flex. That wasn't
Look
my-
at that. Because you were so weak when I knew you in person.
okay, and he reckons hasn't been hitting the tubs.
You've been hitting something. Look at those
Those
arms.
those triceps
Let's
tell,
just
Fucking
tell
hitting
me
the
different.
gym, lifting some tin.
Let's just put it this way, Dom. If I wanted to put you in an armbar, I could.
Have you been doing what's it called? Rolling on the ground, grappling.
Jiu-jitsu.
Professional fucking rolling on the ground.
I've been watching UFC fights for like 4 weekends in a row, so now I'm pretty much a professional, and I could armbar legs, heads, like just you name it, I can armbar it.
Sweet.
He
Do you know
told me.
about Dan's brush with jiu-jitsu?
Did he armbar one?
Yeah, we
No,
actually
he didn't.
we haven't talked about this for at
We've
least
never
five
talked about
weeks.
this.
No, for at least 5 weeks. So it's probably time to explain it to someone else
Please do.
because the listeners are dying to hear it again.
Do you reckon it's just people just turning it off doing the podcast stuff right now? Oh, this again,
Yeah.
fucking Christ. Well, when Dan was addicted to meth, he tried to rob this dairy, and the dairy owner knew jiu-jitsu and choked him out, and then dragged Dan out onto the footpath, and Dan pissed himself and got arrested.
That's a real story.
Yeah,
That's when he said, "Look, I've got a problem," and so he got off the
and then
meth.
fixed it. Then he fixed it with this podcast.
Yeah.
hey JJ,
Onwards and upwards. Yeah, what's up?
tell, can you tell us about your friend Eve, the guy that goes and dances at the
Oh, he's the fucking man.
yeah.
What would you like to know about him?
I
I
like
know.
his tattoos.
Like everything? He's
Yeah.
like he's a mystery wrapped in a riddle, wrapped in a fucking like man that never stops dancing.
So maybe start with
Have you
what?
seen this before, JJ?
Oh fuck.
It's a little stupid. I haven't seen that. There's absolutely no reason why I would have seen that before, Dom.
I'll show you this one. I made this, JJ. Can you describe this to the listeners, JJ?
It looks like if someone
Dinosaur
that was
dildo.
challenge was making a Loch Ness monster.
Thank you.
is that the accurate answer?
More or less. What about this?
Fuck off, Dom. This is terrible for
This is a musical instrument.
Has Dom is Dom on the pot?
It's not working here. I'll use this one.
I think he's trying to like end the podcast.
You
Why-
changed the rating.
The listeners
Why-
love this shit. Everyone always says to me, "You know what? That podcast would be so boring if it wasn't for you." And I say, "I know."
And then you go just like trying to do visual comedy on a audio.
This is the most
And
I've
like-
talked to JJ in fucking years, and I got to update him to what I've been doing. I show him my animal collection.
He doesn't care.
He does care. Look at him. He's so happy.
He doesn't care.
He fucking
And
does. All right, tell us about your friend.
The listeners
Your
don't
big
care.
sexy friend.
So let's start with so I saw a video of Eve's. I actually saw other people, strangers, sharing it, and there's some racists protesting, and he's just like fucking the concrete in front of them.
Yeah, that's his thing. Like, not that particular thing is his thing, but like that on that particular day. Okay, so like, just to give you a brief background, like he was on Warped Tour, when DM was on Warped Tour, like not last year but the year before, and he's like fucking just a dude that was down to be there, fucking just loves punk rock, hardcore, whatever. Super like positive energy dude, was just there to help out with any bands that wanted helping. Knew the lyrics to every song, so he'd jump up and fucking like get on stage with people. Basically, he was just like the fucking like mascot of Warped. He was just like the morale booster. You know what I mean? Like he was just the man, always down to help out, always down to party. Wherever there was people like having a good time, he was dancing in the center. So everyone became really good tight friends with him. We stayed in touch over the years, and yeah, like since all the BLM stuff started happening, he's been at the front. Like he's been at the front line of every single protest. Well, not obviously he can't be at every single protest, but he's not stopped traveling the country, protesting like constantly since it started. Like on his own fucking dime, and that's just like not easy, and it's not cheap in the middle of a pandemic still. So obviously it's quite dangerous and shit. But like you've seen the videos. He just goes to where there's like dudes like fucking those. It was a bunch of racists trying to fucking like stand up for I don't know like whatever that statue was, or white rights, or like some ridiculous shit.
Yeah.
So he reckons like I'm just gonna dance in front of your face and fuck the concrete and see what you think about that. And like yeah, he's just fearless and fucking like a beautiful soul and like full of positive energy and like yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to fucking. The reason I put that T-shirt out with him on it is because I could see that he was obviously fucking like, you know, running himself rugged, like trying to do the good thing and like, you know, spread positive energy anywhere. So I just wanted to help him out a little bit. So yeah.
Sick. Racist.
Did you end up buying a house, JJ?
Fuck the concrete.
They generally hate that. That's one of their least favorite things. I think that would have upset them so much.
Yeah.
Did you buy a house in the end, JJ?
Did I buy a house? I did not buy a house.
You were going to buy a house.
I was going to buy a house, and then my life fell apart.
Oh.
Yeah.
And that prevented you from buying a house?
Debt and the lack of like the fact that I don't have a family to house anymore, because like I broke up with my fiance and my children live on the other side of the planet, so it'd be kind of an empty house at this point. So I'm just kind of biding my time so I can just get like a 1-bedroom flat and just sort of cry myself to sleep in Melbourne. Is the next step of my big plan.
Sure.
Yeah.
What about if you got a big house though, and then me and Dan could come over?
That'd be tight.
Yeah, it'd sort of be like a family.
It'd be the original Odd Couple, but 3 people.
You can move into my house. I'm about to have some spare rooms.
Really?
Yeah.
Is Louis moving out?
We're getting the whole band back together.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Beers or whatever it's called.
Hand jobs and what is it? Drinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Drinking.
Fucking that classic album,
We can put a sign on the front of the house, like you know how strange people
Horny and Drunk,
name their houses.
Volume 2.
What would our sign say?
Hand jobs and drinking. I guess.
Of course, yeah. Stupid question. Very-
Man, it would really fuck up people's expectations. Post knocking on the door, seeing that sign, and then just everyone's having mid-afternoon naps.
Yeah, they're exhausted from all the fucking hand jobs. This is not easy work.
I mean, yeah, it's not. Yeah, fuck, yeah. It can't all be hand jobs and drinking. There's got to be some relaxation. You know what I mean?
This podcast had a pretty chipper mood so far, but you just mentioned that you broke up with your fiance and your children.
Slid that in there.
yeah, and we just kind of like glossed right past that.
Yeah, but that's okay. I'm not. I'm not on my. I'm not. I was actually trying to make Dom uncomfortable. It didn't work at all. So like fucking mission failed. But
do you want to talk about your year? You've had a fuck of a year. Huh?
It's been interesting.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. What would you like to know in particular?
Well, I don't know, man. Like, it's fuck. I love you, and
I love you too.
I love you too, JJ.
Shut up, Dom.
Dan's
Love-
falling in love with you.
Yeah, you
I can tell, but he's been very quiet.
Do you notice
Look at the way he's
been,
looking at you.
and he's been dimming the lights in his room
Yeah,
progressively.
normally that room's really bright so we can read the abusive signs he puts up, but
Also, Hans passed away.
yeah,
Really?
I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Really tough year,
Heartbreaking.
man.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing, right? Like, I fucking, like, everybody's having a really tough year. There's no doubt about that. I'm having a particularly tough year in terms of, I don't know, like, I think I'm having a particularly tough year compared to some others, but I know there's a lot of other people having a way worse time than me. So I just try and keep things in perspective. But also, I'm just trying to keep it moving. Like, yeah, I broke up with my fiance. Yeah, I miss my kids. But what the fuck is, like, sulking about it going to do? I'd be better off trying to get my shit together, make my music, focus on some positive shit. And then as soon as this COVID shit's over, I'm going to be a better, more active father that can be in my kids' lives as much as possible, be homies with my ex still, fucking keep things positive. I'm sad that my dad died, but you know what? He lived a really, really full life. And if, like, the aim of the game of life is to fucking live a full one, do as much cool shit as possible, and die with all your fans and your friends and family around you, he did that shit. So fucking, you know, it's sad that he died, but it's by no means a tragedy. Like, if he got hit by a bus when he was 36, that would be a tragedy. Like, dying, like, in your 80s with your fucking family around you, like, that ain't a tragedy, man. That's just sad because he was a cool guy. So, like, yeah, I've had a tough year, but you know what? Fuck it. Like, let's just fucking move on. You know?
Yeah. And
Great attitude.
Yeah.
Trying, I'm out here trying.
Not only did Hans get to meet his grandchildren, but he got to meet Dominic as well.
Yeah, which is a bonus. That's a huge bonus.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the highlights of his whole life, I would say.
Over
Yeah.
80 years.
He really played it down at the time. Like
Did he what?
he didn't seem.
He plays his cards close to his chest, Hans. He always did. So, you know, you never know. Maybe he had a secret crush on Dom. Or maybe he just found you infuriating. We'll never know now.
That's the problem with death. You can't find out what
Yeah, there's so much left unknown.
what people think of Dominic. At least that guy that went to Dom's play didn't leave the people wondering.
Yeah, for real. That's one thing we can all be certain of. And I'm glad about that.
Yeah.
On a lighter note, I've been having a really fucking stressful day. Well, on a lighter note, I've been having a really stressful day. That was a fucking odd way to start that sentence. But I've been having a stressful day. I've been feeling quite anxious and fucking, like, I've stopped drinking over the last 2 days after, like, a heavy bout of drinking. And I'm, like, trying to fucking come back from that. And then had a bunch of, like, work shit go wrong. And then I forgot that I was even doing this podcast like a real asshole. And
You did
I've just
forget.
been really stressed. But let me just say that talking to you fucking assholes has actually, like, raised my mood, like, at least, I don't know, 2%. No, but no, for real, like, you put me back in a really good mood. So it's a fucking, it's a constant reminder to me these days that, like, fucking just talking to your friends is so fucking important. And so
Maybe we should offer this as a service that we can do for people.
I don't
How
think
you
most people, not most people would enjoy this. I'm just
It
weird.
always amazes me the amount of people that listen to this fucking thing.
Yeah. I wonder if
I'd like to get a rundown. Like, if I could see just, like, a really like, unposed, unattractive screenshot of the head of every single person that listens to this podcast, I'd be very
It's a
curious.
mixed bag from the people that come up to me.
Yeah?
Someone came up to me in Wellington and said that they've listened to, in like a month, they've listened to every single episode.
that's
Wow.
insane.
Yeah.
That's too much.
And what did they look like, if you don't mind me asking?
The regular person looked like they might have a job, had shoes on.
Oh,
I like Dom's assessment of people. So the first thing he's looking for is, like, does this person have a job or not? and I'm assuming that his opinion of them is weighed in their favor if they look like they don't have a job.
Do I look like I have a job?
What's that?
Do I look like I have a job according to you?
If you weren't,
Yeah.
if you weren't a musician, I'm trying to figure out what job I would think you'd have.
Armbar director.
Professional masturbator.
Director of arm bars.
We're professional masturbators. You don't get paid for that. Like, you're just a dude that jerks off.
People do get paid for that.
I reckon writing is pretty close to that.
You know what?
When you get paid, at least.
You're a professional masturbator.
Yeah, hard out.
I've
Living the
been,
dream over here. This is my office, actually. This is where it all happens in this office.
I've
Dom,
been seriously considering
The masturbatorium, they call it.
that's what you call Dan's room.
What's that?
That's what you call
Dan's
Dan's
is the
room.
wank pit. It's different. Dan's is more furious.
wank pit.
Wank pit.
Conjures up so many
Yeah,
wank and pity things.
wank pit sounds like it has like a miniature octagon in the room around the edges, like you're just running yourself into the walls while you're
There's just little dicks in there putting each other in arm bars.
Do you know that
Yeah.
Dan is a producer, JJ? So if you want some beats for your rap projects, Dan's got you.
Your beat slap.
Yeah, most of them sound like they're from like 2007, but that was a
Yeah,
good time.
That was a good time for rap.
Good
music.
vintage. Can you play us one, Dan?
Get fucked.
Come on, if I just boot one up.
No.
Donk, 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 donk.
Are you,
What is
you,
that?
That's one of the beats.
you've
Well,
been
there's all of
doing
them.
you've been doing a thing on your Instagram, JJ, where you've been going live with friends and talking
Yeah.
about shit.
You know I did because you were the first one on it.
I was a little plug for myself. Really, I want people to go
And it
go.
was so
wa-
much fun,
Little
man.
humble brag.
It's really fun.
It was fun, eh? Who else has been on there?
At this point, it's only been yourself, my boy Drew York from Straight from the Path, and Benny Clark, who's who's fucking like talking to him was super interesting, man, because it was like he does so much fucking like good shit for the community that I had no idea about. Well, I had an idea about some of it, like aside from being like an amazing fucking drummer and drumming for like Baker Boy and like some big artists and shit.
Yeah,
And I knew that he was like very like community minded and like worked with a bunch of people, but like yeah, it was just a super super interesting chat and like yeah, I don't know, it's cool, man. I'm just enjoying fucking talking to people about like having a fucking laugh, but also delving into some deeper topics that people probably wouldn't usually hear from, well, especially me, but you know, the people that I'm talking to either. So yeah, it's just cool. It's a good excuse to have a chat, much like this, but then like maybe sometimes more serious because Dom's not there.
yeah. And have you had a good response from people doing that?
No, everyone hates it.
Oh, did they?
No, it's been really good. I mean, well, I can only go by like fucking like views and comments and shit, but like they're all like every video's been getting like 3K views and like a bunch of like positive feedback and stuff. And so
Yeah.
I guess people are digging it.
So-
But also, too, man, not to sound selfish, but it's kind of for me. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, of course.
I'm just like I was speaking to someone today who's going to be another guest on it. Bree Luna, who's like, you know, like
Oh,
famous
yeah.
for Hood Witch, yeah.
Yeah.
And she's super cool and she's super switched on. And obviously, because of the success of the Hood Witch, she's like very, you know, social media savvy and like knows how to do this shit. And I was just asking her out of curiosity, like I wasn't like looking for fucking, looking for kudos or a pat on the back. I was like, yo, does this shit kind of suck, or is it coming across like convoluted, or is it coming across like, you know, fucking very like self-involved or like me? And like I wanted a fucking honest answer, and she was like, no, honestly, don't see it that way. But what I would say is like make sure that if you want to connect with like your audience or whatever, that you're asking what they want they want you to talk about or what they want to hear about, because otherwise then it does become about you. Like just because
right.
you've got something to say doesn't mean it's like, you know, it doesn't mean people won't agree with it either, but it's not necessarily speaking to them. You're just kind of speaking at them if you're not asking them what they want to hear about.
Yeah, for
Which I
sure.
thought was really cool advice. And I was like, okay, cool. So like, yeah, I took that on board a little bit. And so moving forward, I guess I'll be trying to gauge more of what other people want to hear me speak about rather than just kind of like winging it. But yeah, aside from that, I just kind of do it for myself because it's like, yeah, it's just a bit of fun, man. And if people enjoy it and it gets them out of a dark place or puts a smile on their face, then that's just a bonus, you know?
Yeah, and you have to, like, anything you want to do, any initiative that's about kind of assisting people or something that you think might be helpful, you have to make peace with the fact that it's for you as well. Like
100%.
anything of that nature, like you got to be into it. Like,
but here's the strange dichotomy of that kind of shit, and once again it comes back to mental health and anxiety and blah blah blah, same old fucking shit. But like one of the things that I've been like not struggling with, but one of the things that I keep finding like confronting about it is like the more I enjoy it, the more worried I am. Am I doing it for the right reasons? You know what I mean? Like if I'm enjoying what I'm talking about, if I'm enjoying who I'm talking to, and I'm like I get off and I like feel good about it. I'm like, do I feel good because I helped people? Because like heaps of people have been hitting me back with really positive feedback, saying like that they loved, like that I, that it helped their day or that it did this, that, and the other. And I'm like, am I enjoying this for me or am I enjoying this for them? And then it becomes a real thing where you like start to like kind of feel shitty about that.
But like all service, like to doing shit for other people always feels good.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's like a reciprocal thing. You know what I mean? Like, because I think as humans we're meant to help people. That's what we're really meant to do.
For
and
sure.
you feel that when you do that.
That's why it feels good.
Yeah, hard out.
But the anxiety part of my brain makes me feel guilty and goes, "You selfish asshole! You're not supposed to be doing this for you. Stop feeling good. Do it for you know what I mean? Like it's like a little fucking like."
You need to do some meditation.
The funny thing is, I don't think that was the original.
Don't say nah about the meditation.
That wasn't the original intention, right? Your original intention was to have some conversations that might assist people.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then as an after effect, you really got something out of it that you weren't expecting, right? So
yeah, for sure. It's it snowballed.
And you can't feel guilty about that.
You should get Dan on there.
I mean,
Dan's got some shit to chat about.
it's not that I would love to have you on, Dan, but there hasn't been a whole lot of banter so far.
Okay, Dan, say some stuff to plead your case here.
Spit a couple bars, Dan.
Have you heard my review of the Breaking Bad episode? That's pretty good.
Yeah, he was wrong.
I haven't, but I didn't watch the Breaking Bad, so next.
That's it. Oh, well.
Oh, well. Well, maybe I'll have you on one day.
Oh, JJ Peters. What's your middle name?
John.
Joseph John William Peters III. That's the fourth to you, though, Dom.
John William Peters III.
Hey, I'll be back in a second. I just got to piss.
Oh, you
What?
can't
You can't just leave the middle of the fucking podcast.
I can on this one.
Who do you think you are?
Me?
All right, now that prick's gone, let's fucking just get real now.
All right, Dom, hit me with the real questions now that Dad's gone.
Fucking hell. Yeah, he likes to rabbit on, doesn't he? Has he got a fucking ensuite? Look, he's just pissing the door open. Disgusting.
Can you hear him pissing if you really like?
Look how he's got a little thing for all his little shoes as well, like a little platform for them. Who does he think he is?
I'm just a guy that likes his shoes, I guess. Oh, that's what I was going to ask you about. Tell me more about your jewelry. I kind of just mocked you, but I am actually curious about your jewelry.
Well, a lot of it's shit because I bought heaps of it when I was wasted. But I got a ring, this really cool ring. It's like got a C in it.
Like
for chili. Yeah, it's got rubies in it. It's by
with that dog, man.
amazing artist called Tui Harrington. Might have fucked your name up because I'm terrible with names, but anyway. And then I got like this big ring on a gold chain. I got this other gold chain, but then it gave my neck a rash, so I don't know if it's very good metal.
Well, just pretend that just don't wear it all the time till it like starts to tarnish and turn your skin green. But as long as that doesn't happen, just wear it out when you're flexing, and everything will be good. You'll still look like you're just fucking balling out of control. Just old Dom, just balling out of control. Like
Yeah, I want to get gold teeth.
I got a couple you can borrow.
Yeah.
Well, I've got one baby cap. It's just like, but it's actually covering a baby tooth though, so it's probably not going to fit your grown man teeth.
No, I don't think so.
Also, I had a suggestion for you, Dom. As when you were saying that you're a professional masturbator or sorts, have you ever considered a career in OnlyFans?
I don't know how much money I'd make. I feel like I'm losing money in enough industries that I don't need to fucking start up another one.
Well, the good thing about OnlyFans, and welcome back.
Because there's people way hotter than me that are not making much money on that shit, so I don't know.
Yeah, but there's no expenses, really.
Yeah, you don't have to outlay anything. It's just like if one, you might just have one weirdo that's just like, all I want to do, I'm rich, I'm fucking weird, and all I want to do is watch Dom jerk off once a day for like $1,000. And then that's you, good for life.
Yeah, hey,
What do you reckon, Dan? You can help me out with this.
You got your old...
You can provide the production values.
You got your old decrepit dick and a will to masturbate, and a camera phone. Yeah.
See, I think this is more your vibe, Todd. You've always been a You know, you're always very online.
Yeah, but
But
not
if-
with his dick.
Well, it's
Yeah.
only one more. He's taking photos with no shirt on. It's only
Oh.
like the next step.
Should we tell? Fuck! Remember the Is Anyone Up?
I fucking knew that's where this was going as soon as someone said dick and yeah, online. Yeah,
That-
of course I remember. It fucking haunts my memories like fucking everything that Dom just said.
I bet. So do you guys? Dom
Is
and,
that revenge porn site?
Yeah. So terrible site. Me and SK met the guy, the American dude, who started that in a Sydney strip club one night, and
Best mates with him.
yeah. But anyway, so he would announce, like, if he had people with some public profile, he would announce that he was releasing something of them before he released it. And he announced JJ, and JJ's like, and I was like, I fucking know that dude. He was like, can you message him? I was like, messaging him, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, he releases it. And it wasn't...
So, can I just interject for a second? I was like, part of me was mortified because I was like, well, obviously I don't want my dick on the internet. But the other part of me was going, I don't send fucking videos of myself jerking off. I don't send dick pics to people. So I was really confused because I was like, this dude's got something on me, obviously, but I have no idea what it is. Like, has someone secretly filmed me? Has something, you know what I mean? So I was like not concerned, but also very concerned. So yeah, now you continue, Todd.
But, so he released the video, and we saw it, and the person had an identifying tattoo on their hand that we recognized. It was someone we knew very well.
It was someone in my band.
True.
It was someone that was.
Didn't they
kind-
have like a weird dick as well?
Yeah, they had a weird dick, and they made heaps of weird groaning noises.
The noises stay with me to this day.
They
True.
came.
Can you give me a rendition of them?
Oh, I couldn't even start.
Nah.
I don't think.
I think the more important question is, how come you had the contact for this revenge porn guy, Todd?
What? The thing was
You
just
met him in a club.
that I met him that time, and so it was like just the internet. Like, you could contact someone, you know. I
Can
can't
you give him
even.
good striking?
But also,
He lives in America.
just to give some just now that's the punchline basically. Video went up, wasn't my dick. Dude,
But everyone thought it was your dick, though.
everyone thought it was my dick. Well, everyone that knew me knew it wasn't because they knew.
They know what your dick looks like.
Because my hands at that point were already covered in tattoos, and this dude that was jerking off had one very specific tattoo and no other tattoos. So it was very clear that it wasn't my hand or my dick, unless it was someone else's hand jerking off my dick. It was impossible.
Fuck,
So-
I'd never thought of that. Is
Yeah,
that?
neither.
Yeah. So yeah, fucking. So this dude never admits it. I never put him on blast because he had a girlfriend at the time, and I felt bad enough for her that she was already kind of like in that position anyway. So I just took the rap like a real fucking G. I just fucking let the world think they saw me and my weird little dick fucking come really awkwardly and moan, and I just took that on the chin. And for a year, everywhere I went, because this site was very popular at the time. Everywhere I went, everyone was like, "Oh, I seen you jerk off and your dick's gross," and you go, and like I had to deal with that. And like as a dude that fucking like tours for a living, that like went on for quite some time, and it was quite fucking painful. It wasn't a fun time in my life. It made me feel really weird.
That's fucking awful.
Boy, you think they're getting choked out in the dairy is bad, Dan? Listen to this.
At least choking out, the choking out in the dairy only lasted like at least a half an hour. Right?
Well,
Not even that long. It's over.
speaking of the dairy, Dan, I've got a good story. Do you mind if I tell it, Dan?
Don't know.
About when you broke up with your ex and your ex went into the dairy.
Rings a bell. Go on.
Oh, so Dan was he does 10-year relationships at a time. So I think he's got about 4 left on his current one. And him and his ex had broken up. They lived in the house together, and the dairy's just right across the road. And then his ex was visiting, and she went to the dairy, and the dairy owner told her that Dan was in there.
That's right.
Dan was in there buying condoms.
You buy condoms from the dairy?
Just put him on blast.
Yeah, the dairy owner snitched on him.
Oh man, that
that's
sucks,
right.
Dan.
That's not good for business.
Do you still go to that dairy, Dan?
Of course.
Yes.
Best condoms in town.
All right, yeah, you can come on my show after all. I like that.
Yeah. You just gotta talk for half an hour, and then Dan will chime in with like just a killer line.
Gold,
Yeah.
gold,
Yeah.
comedy gold.
Yeah.
Also, too, for those people that are listening that aren't from fucking New Zealand, a dairy is a delicatessen or a fucking deli or a
Milk
whatever.
bar, bodega.
Yeah, there's like mad because like heaps of people would be listening to this thinking that Dan hangs out like where they milk cows.
Well, when you say
I think
when
you're
you say
over-
heaps, I think you might be overestimated. But fuck, we're about to hit. I had it up earlier, but I think we're gonna hit like 20,000 plays this week of the new season,
Lit.
which is pretty tight.
That's,
Nothing to be sniffed at.
Yeah,
That's big numbers.
And now we've got fucking JJ Peters on. It's bound to push us over.
yeah.
I'm gonna really promote the shit out of this too. I'm gonna make flyers. I'm gonna drop them everywhere.
Just
Is that another way of saying you're not going to bother to hit share?
No. I'm gonna put up a OnlyFans where all I do is once they pay their money, I just promote this podcast.
Fuck
so
yeah.
if you do a flyer drop, remember to add like some stuff about 5G and COVID pandemic on your
Cool.
flyer.
That'd be side A, and then this would be side B. Like,
I saw David Ferrier today, Todd, and we talked about how you've gone down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, is he impressed with me or unimpressed?
He said it's just what happens. I don't know. He seemed like maybe he was concerned.
Oh, I'm fine. I unpilled someone again this week.
Really?
Or is
that's
that?
fine.
Yeah, real satisfying. Is the term unpilled or depilled?
I don't know, this is your world, mate. You tell me.
Both work.
So, like when I first started getting into this, and someone told me, I think it was David Ferrier actually. He said, "Know more about the conspiracy than they do," and it fucking works. Like,
You can out fucking if you can
Yeah.
run circles around them at their own nonsense.
yeah, if you're just like, do you know who this person is? Do you know who this person is? Why hasn't this happened? What is this? And like, just ask them questions about the shit, and like immediately like. And then knowing like the debunking as well is real important.
Yeah.
But
To
yeah,
have the actual go, oh, since you know about that, do you know about the counter argument?
yeah. I'll spend a bit of time, like a little bit of time, but it's worth it.
The way you
because-
played that down lets me know that you spent heaps of time.
Yeah, I have spent a lot of time, but like real worth it when like it was someone I cared about too, like a friend who I really care about. And they posted some bullshit about anti-vax, and it was like about Bill Gates and his supposed vaccine agenda. And I just straight away I saw it and like was able to hit them up and just be like, "Yo, this is what this is."
Yeah.
And
Give you some information.
yeah, and they were like, "Oh, that makes sense." So I was like, "Yeah, it does because it's true." Right.
And also too, if you come at it from an angle like that and not always at an attacking angle of that, you're a fucking dickhead. Like if you're like, hey, look, I care about you, and this is actually something that I would like rather you actually looked into, and then you can make up your mind. Then they're probably gonna do the right thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
But then there's flat earthers, and then that's a whole nother thing.
it's all kind of the same. It's all
Yeah, it's all the same
feel like-
lunacy.
I feel like that's like I feel like there's like all that insanity and like fucking then it gets to like flat earth is like the pinnacle of like, are you fucking kidding me? Like I'm like there's a lot of are you fucking kidding me, and then that's like the pinnacle of are you fucking kidding me?
You ain't dug as deep as I have, Dan.
Well, clearly no one's dug as fucking deep as you have.
Do you wanna see I'll read you out this Facebook post I found the other day, and it's
Fuck, so you got him started now, JJ.
it's from someone from my hometown, so it's just like it's so nuts.
The one you showed me the other day, I think it might have been people in Melbourne on some kind of a group chat thing, and it was like people talking about how they were like, don't worry, like I'm gonna fucking take care of Andrews with my demon fucking like breath or whatever. Like,
The drink.
like, yeah, the way they were talking to each other was like they were all being so reasonable, but saying the most bizarre, insane things I'd ever heard. I'm
Yeah.
like, what the fuck is going on, man?
Okay, here's this Facebook post. And it's mostly in caps. There's some parts that aren't in caps, but
So it's you?
My opinion is this. Jacinda Ardern is arrested and on house arrest, but she has been given a chance, just like Dr. Anthony Fauci was given by Donald Trump. She knows the truth and she knows what she has to do. She is doing this on purpose. She must and will make us rise up and protest exactly what Donald Trump wants worldwide. Oh my God, it sure is happening. You see the 1% elite fear the day the 99% wake up. All governments, politicians, brackets corrupt. That's most of them, lol. Presidents, kings, and queens, prime ministers around the world have been arrested and either doing life or been executed. Jacinda Ardern is on that list for treason and other crimes. October 17th, 17 equals Q, our election day. It's meant to be a good day worldwide. Honestly, none of them will get in. Many judges, lawyers, PMS, and other high-profile police have been arrested in New Zealand for crimes like the rest of the cabal worldwide. Sick crimes. And yes, there is something else going on behind the pandemic. Arrests are still taking place worldwide. Yeah, arrests are still taking place worldwide, and little New Zealand is one of them. So Kiwi for justice, you're right. The best is yet to come. Where we go one, we go all.
You just hit this person up on October 17th and be like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
October 18th, I guess.
Yeah, I fucking will. But just like...
There's so much insanity in there. And that where we go one, we go, that's the big sign-off, right? Like, that's their big, like, fucking slogan.
The belief that Donald Trump can arrest a prime minister of another country...
I feel as though one of the craziest things about, and like there's obviously so much crazy involved in all of that, but the fact that it always comes back to one of the most idiotic fucking like characters of our lifetime is like, it all focuses back to somehow Trump's idiocy is like genius. Like,
yeah.
Like I've watched all of those fucking videos and it's like when he like could barely drink out of a cup, it was actually because he was trying to like, you know, let everybody know that there was kids trapped on an island somewhere. And like they really, that's like not verbatim, but it's like shit like that. And I'm like, how is it that all of this insanity circles back to Trump being a superhero somehow? Like that's like one of the weirdest things about
because
that.
it's if you just fucking you know, you underfund education for decades.
Yeah,
this is what you end up with, you know, and it's just like. Because and you can, the thing is that lots of these people, they can tell there's something wrong with society, they can tell that the system's broken,
yeah.
but they don't have the education to understand like what the actual power structure is and what's actually fucking them, you know what I mean, and how that can potentially change. So they just believe in these kind of like fantasies.
Yeah. Well, so
all that money would have been well better spent just buying us all a house so we could just do this podcast in it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That when you get out of lockdown, buy a house. Me and Dan will be there like that. Hey, Dan. Yeah, we've got nothing else to do.
Dan's in.
Yeah.
They
fucking
believe
podcast
that all these
24/7.
executions are taking place, and I remember when
where is the evidence to any of this shit? Like?
There's no evidence, and remember Saddam got executed, and you can watch the video of his hanging. It's like,
remember when you watched that ISIS video and then it made you feel sick?
Oh, it made me feel awful.
But I could have probably told you that was going to happen.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Remember JJ when I was real poor and then you made me go to a casino with you and you gave me money but only if I'd gamble it and then I lost it all?
Yeah, that's kind of, in retrospect, that's kind of a mean thing to do to someone that has money.
I was like, I could keep this $50 and use it to buy food. He said, no, you have to gamble it. And then we lost it all.
Kind of like, it's kind of like...
You had been giving me drugs and alcohol and like those, I suppose.
But it's
It
kind of
evens
like
out.
a sick mind game. Like, yeah, you can have this money, but only if you lose it.
I guess I could have won it.
Only if you throw it away. I guess at my heart of hearts, that's what I would have hoped would happen, is that you would have won.
Would have turned my life around.
And then we would have just gone home and fucking gotten back to like drinking beers.
Taking more drugs.
But you don't want to go to the casino and just like give someone some money and they go buy a plate of chicken wings or something.
Yeah, for real. I was at like one of my good friends, like who's like always been quite thrifty. came to I think it was like my 21st or one of my birthdays, like at the casino. And I knew he wasn't going to gamble. He'd never like gambled $1 in his life, which I was like, yeah, I'm cool with that. Just come, drink, hang, watch us play, whatever. And he found $100 chip on the ground. And my instant thing was like, oh, cool. Now you can join in on the fun and like fucking, like gamble with us and have nothing to lose. And he just looked at me and he was like, are you fucking kidding? I just won $100 and went and cashed it and went home. and like, there's two parts of me, and one of them I'm like, what a fucking asshole, and the other part of me I'm like, he's completely right. He won. Like, so what would be the point in gambling further?
Have you ever been into gambling, Dan?
Hell yeah.
No.
What? Never.
That surprises me.
Some garbage.
Have you ever watched the arm bars with old Willie? That'll make you want to gamble.
True.
Yeah.
I've never been interested in gambling. It doesn't do anything for me. And I like a vice or two, but not gambling.
Yeah, you got to have money to gamble, Dom.
Too poor.
You got to have disposable income, or well, not necessarily, because most people.
But it's such a depressing addiction to have as well.
It is quite sad, unless because the thing is, it's intermittent reward. So you're not actually even like when you play the pokies, like you get the fucking like $100, like even though you just put 5 in. And you're not going to walk out with that $100 because you're just going for that thrill. So you're just going to keep putting your money in until you've eventually lost it. That's
Because at least when you like smoke heroin or something, you're getting high.
Yeah, well, why don't you just smoke heroin and gamble and just fucking and have a really good time?
I don't want to gamble when I smoke heroin.
Let's just smoke heroin then. No one said we can. All right, let's just be reasonable about this.
Yeah, well, when you get the house, you get the house, I'll get the heroin.
It's all right, deal.
That's us.
We'll have poker games there.
I've never smoked heroin.
It's better than not smoking heroin.
Yeah, I smoked opium once.
I would like to smoke opium, even though I know they're in like pretty much the same family, because I feel like telling people you smoke opium sounds like you're cultured, and telling people you smoked heroin sounds like you smoked heroin.
Yeah, that's why. That's why I prefer to say opium.
The truth comes out.
I want people to think I'm cultured and I support Dom in the theatre.
Fuck, mate, no one thinks you're cultured.
No,
Yeah.
That's a good point.
They knew that as soon as you supported them in the theatre.
Well, yeah.
All right, should we wrap this shit up then? I gotta walk the dog. That's not a euphemism.
Is that usually when it's time to do it? Like, is that
Well, normally it's dinner time, but it's a bit later now.
That means Dom's signing into his OnlyFans.
Yeah. So all the listeners that are subscribed, get in there.
Oh man,
Just see a fucking middle-aged man crying in the shower.
It doesn't cost you any money to start up an OnlyFans. Can you please, as a social experiment, starting tonight, after you've walked the dog and had your dinner and fucking like drank a beer or whatever, can you start an OnlyFans and then report back like next week and see if anybody wanted to like pay you money to do something?
But don't you have to post Don't you have to post content though? It's not like do people pay you for shit?
I'm pretty sure it works both ways. I think you can they can either request stuff or you can just like post shit and they can look at it.
Yeah. You work it out with the people. You could probably do a poetry one actually.
A poetry OnlyFans.
Yeah.
You know what it didn't start as because now it's just become a thing where it's just like fucking, dudes jerking off over like fucking, girls get OnlyFans and dudes just buy a monthly subscription to fucking get nudes or whatever. The original idea was that it was like fucking Instagram, but for fucking super fans. So instead of just giving away all of your fucking content and like putting out like unreleased shit, you did it all on OnlyFans where you made some money from it.
True.
But then people worked out that like no one gave a shit about that, and people like.
Yeah. Okay. Fuck it.
Could figure
Go
out.
on, Dan. We'll do it together.
Something niche.
Okay.
It'll be something for us to do in our spare time, Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Sweet.
All right, so is that a wrap? Are you kicking me off now?
Yeah, you're done.
All right.
When do you want me to come on your depressing podcast,
My
JJ?
depressing podcast. It won't be that depressing. We can do it sometime this week. You name the time. I'm not very busy. Well, I'm kind
What
of.
about I could do it tomorrow night, maybe,
Tomorrow night sounds good to
or
me.
Thursday night.
Hey, you can't sort this out in your own time.
Bye.
All right. Fucking Louis got all fucking worked up.
Mate,
Bob's upset because he's already had his episode on my show. He doesn't.
Yeah, he
care.
don't give
Yeah.
a fuck anymore.
I'm done. I'm fucking done with that now.
All right, OnlyFans, here we come.
All
All
right.
right, thank you so much for having me on your stupid podcast, fellas. I love you
Thanks
guys.
for coming on.
Yeah,
love you,
too.
JJ.
Thanks.
It's actually been lots of fun, lots more than I expected, and I expected a lot.
Well,
Yeah.
you're welcome back anytime.
We always exceed expectations.
I'll send you a photo of my jewels.
I would love to see that. I'm just doing OnlyFans though. Could you please?
Yeah, you got to subscribe if you want to see the jewels.
Yeah. All right.
Later, bro.
See ya.
Toodaloo.
Do you know how to exit the Zoom? Oh, yeah.
Oh, fuck, he's just gone. Look at that.
Fuck.
Smooth exit.